Why hello there, fellow watchmen. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld: The Darkest Ages. Episode 57. Our walled fortress now needs towers. Oh god, you've been forced to cremate this whole time? Take a break, dude. It's my bad. So the one that's about to die is Anomaly. 10 quality, 9.6. Yeah, I can tell why. I don't think that there's a... Ah, crap. I don't think there's a snowball's chance to in hell that she's gonna survive. It's like the damage has already been done. So we got some rats coming. The only valid place that's... so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close all the other valid gates and only open one valid gate and siphon all the rats to come in one door. So Matic, you close that one. Mike closes this one. Could I give the guest a healing draft? I don't think it would matter. Like, it's too little too late. I could try to issue an immunization draft, but like, they're just dead. That 10 quality is too bad. Basically 10 quality, and I can't administer anything anyway. Because they're a guest, not a colonist. Essentially, when you're a guest, I can't just like do whatever I want to them. And probably rightfully so, right? Yeah. I would say that's actually correct behavior. Come on, rats. Ugh. Are they even trying to get to me? No, they're being dumb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send my brawlers out to go smash them. Probably a fog of war issue. Yeah, probably. So 2 rats... Rat 3, so Rat 4 and 5 are coming to Roy now. Okie dokie. Unrestricted, close, and then animals, free roam. Perfect. Where is Anomaly? And, oh, yep. So this is what happens when your long rot hits 100%. Somehow I was not blamed for this. That was my biggest worry, that they would just be like, you bastard, you killed her. But like, no, she just died of somewhat unnatural causes. I probably should have buried her, not cremated her, but it's a little too late. We already torched her. And that is why I'm trying to avoid the lung rot. Because it's really bad when you allow it to get up to extreme levels, it just kills you. Now you know. Now you know why I'm so careful. So we've got 17 days for the conversion ritual. And there's really nothing else for Ginger to do. Oh, you know what? That's not true. Maybe we'll, counsel Klein. Klein's in a bad mood. We can cheer him up. Or not. Well, you know, the thought was there. The execution... lacking. Void sculptures. Done. Let's see. Let's understand psychophagy next. I don't intend to use any of them, so they're all kind of arbitrary. The northern... oh, there's still a sizable swath of... okay. So proximity detector for the north is getting installed now. Sweet. So now anything gets within... what is the radius on that? 20 tiles of the end of a bridge, and we'll know it. The other thing they'll probably want to do, I had mentioned, which was putting extra detectors within the base. Hey, look, we got our chocolate. Yum. I kind of... oh, Avalka, what is wrong? I kind of wish RimWorld wouldn't have you, like, cut down the trees, because, like, nobody farms chocolate that way. They don't go, oh, now the tree is grown, we'll take our first yield of chocolate and chop the tree down. It's like, said, what, why? Like palm oil, yeah, maybe, but like chocolate? No, no one does that for chocolate. Jarianatai, thank you for the resub. You hit a full year too. Awesome. Ooh, you know what I just realized? I have not updated the home zone. Well, shucks. Time to watch me try to paint between the lines, which is always a great struggle for me. But if it goes out of the lines, don't you worry, I'll correct it. And Martius too. Thank you for the resub as well. That's a whole lot of months. Happy little walls. Yeah, we're trying to keep them safe. I can't believe there's still thin ice. That took a long time to melt. Unrealistically long. I used to live... oh, there we go. See, out of the lens. I used to live on a big old lake, and let me tell you, a cold snap that lasts a few days is not going to significantly create enough ice on a lake where then spring temperatures won't melt it within like an afternoon. I speak from much experience. One of my hobbies back then was I made myself ice tires. Eventually I realized that I could buy ice tires better than I could possibly make them, so then I ended up buying them. But I would take a mountain bike out on the sheer ice, and I'd bike around the lake. Because the lake was like huge. It was like 50 square miles. It was a massive lake, and it was fun to just bike around on. So I had a lot of fun on that lake. I miss it. Apparently they enjoyed their stay. Aubrey and... even though one of their compatriots died, apparently death wasn't a contributing factor to their happiness of the stay. Alright, so my home zone looks right. And as soon as we install that last proximity detector, all 3 bridges are now wired for proximity. Perfect. So there was a second part of this project, which was I want proximity detection like nearing the 3 gatehouses as well. And this is for like a second chance to find entities that we wouldn't necessarily know about. Just some extra redundancy. So I am going to build that in as well. Oh, you're hunting. I was like, I thought he was building. I was like, what is there even left to build? I might need to generate more electricity. Also, what are my... yeah, I'm going to need to make more components. Because our power needs go up with these detectors built. So, each one is 75. And I don't have enough grid excess. I do have one near the cells. This one is covering the Revenant, technically speaking. It wouldn't be a terrible idea if I had a real power access to like put one right in the middle that is likely to cover even more ground. But now I think we need some electro harvesting to increase our generation too. So we'll get an electro harvester built for the western cells. Do they cover both platforms? They do. You can see that they easily link to both holding platforms in this spot and in that spot. Alright, grid excess is better now. 900 watts. So, zooming out, I'll show you our detection network. This is where we can detect entities, which is not bad. I'm going to increase the... I want to add like one sort of in the middle, and then maybe one over near the bedrooms. So these will be the last two, and that covers almost the entire fort. I guess I could put one maybe down here as well. And that will cover basically the whole fort. I really doesn't need to be much more than that. I wasn't necessarily seeking perfect coverage, in other words. So in order to power up this detector, that is a bit of a cable complexity. Alright, let's... I don't know if I'm going to have the bioferrite for this necessarily, but I do want to embed it in the walls if I can, so... That will be the complete network once it's done. But we are down to two. Actually, we're down to 200, but I should have enough. It is a little weird that the conduits aren't buried, but there isn't a buried version. going to have her island bound. And then I'm going to give her just a lot more recreation. As our leader, we really don't want her mental breaking if we can help it. Haygrass is not being hauled out there as fast as I would have expected it. So I think the detectors are now all powered up. Yep. So nice. We really do have almost complete coverage over the entire fort. There was a little gap there. What is our power excess? Power needed, 75. Grid excess. I could do one more just for completionism. Do one more, like, here. And then it really doesn't get much better than that. And this is about all the biofright I have left, for the most part. But yeah, that looks pretty good. So, that project's done. Energy detection, I would say, finished. Next project. Build a smithy, build backup defenses, build a southern hospital, contain all the drugs together for the benefit of the animals, expand the duck barn, set up watchtowers, or viewer suggestions. I'll leave it up to you. This is not a hangout area. Not a gather spot, guys. Ooh, we're pulling gold. Nice. That actually has me realize I do have someone finally, Dory, that can do art. It might not be a bad idea for me to continually attempt to make art. Why not? Medic, make a chair for our dear Dory. I may also have to force someone to do high priority hauling. Ooh, wow. Okay. That is pretty comfortable. I don't really fully understand what comfort over 100% is, but I accept it. Sure, whatever that means. Hungry pen animals. So, the hungry pen animals are just a result of people not hauling the hay. There's, like, no other really good reason. I think, at this point, I'm going to set up shelves in there. Because this is just going to be a continual issue. And I'm going to replace the storages that we have with shelves. So that they store 600 hay there instead of 200. And that way it should be easier to manage going forward. Alright, one more minute to vote in this poll, but it looks like watchtowers is going to be the popular option. Okay, yeah, that's better. Given the amount of hay that I have left, I need to start growing it, I just realized. Or we're gonna have some really sad animals. Oh yeah, Fangface, you just came to the same conclusion. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh shoot. Yep, I'm on it. Okay. Wow. Workshop and Watchtower is tied. I'll give you one more minute to vote if you want to be a tiebreaker and you haven't voted yet. Feel free to do so. So the good news is, because of all this rain, we do have, like, the soil fertility is a little bit higher. It's more fertile. And I think what I'm going to go is, I'm going to go so far as to plant, no, I won't do that. We'll keep this corn. Because I could always feed them corn, too. Corn can double as both animal feed and human feed. Oh, boy. Sean, happy birthday. You're now frail. Given your frailty, you are going to be zoned as close, the same as the armor-wearing brawlers. Also, is it just me, or did your hair all of a sudden get a lot more white? I don't recall it being as white as that. Perhaps I'm wrong. What? Oh, come on. 2 passive coolers is enough? That's ridiculous. Is there somewhere where hay can be stored where the dogs can't reach? Well, that is one of the priority options, is to contain all the drugs together for the benefit of the dog haulers. And we'll do that as soon as it gets voted on. So don't look at me. Hey! Yep, that's what we're calling the hay, guys. Hey, Sebastian. Thank you for the resub. Alright. Watchtowers wins by a hair. So, I had mentioned the Watchtower Desire before. If you're wondering about it, just as a little reminder, the Watchtowers are a place that, oh god, where are they? Yeah, you're there. They're, an area that a person can stand, which doubles their vision. It does not allow you to see above or beyond walls. So the idea that I had was to incorporate watchtowers into the island design. So let me update the priority. And it's going to be expensive, but like, I don't care. The expense is not a big deal. So the idea that I had was to build like, to build a bridge that goes beyond our walls, because you can't see beyond walls here, so it needs to be farther out than this spot, so that it doesn't like... So if we create like a rough line, we'll need a bridge roughly out to about here, and then I'll build a spot. Let's do a 2 wide. I'll build a spot here for the tower. I know my pathing looks terrible. My plans. So that we could easily see beyond this point. So the idea is to break the walls here and have this be a portcullis gate, which will have to be open and closed regularly. Or maybe it will be something like a gate here with a door, so that the gate can stay closed and the door opens and closes and the gate can close. Well, no, I'm going to just have it be a gate. And the reason for just to be a gate is I never, like, as well-intentioned as it is to think that, like, oh yeah, I'll just close the door. It's like, I never do. So we'll have a portcullis gate leading out to a tower. And the tower is, if I'm not mistaken, it's a 2x2. Shouldn't that be? Is that a misc? Where was it again? Oh, it's a security. Okay. Yeah, it's a 2x2. So putting it out here with a walkway around it. And doing that for here as well. And here as well. So that we can... maybe right there. So that we can see... we can see out really, really well. And spot things visually before they become an impending threat to our colony. So I think a tower here will allow us to see this section of the map. A tower here will allow us to see this section of the map, and a tower here will allow us to see this section of the map, and it will give us pretty good vision. So 3 walls, 3 towers, and that's sort of the plan. The reason why I'm not bothering with the tunnel, I don't see how it there is essentially no way that an enemy will traverse the water before a guardsman gets behind the gate. This is just too slow. Even if it's frozen over, it's just too much ground for an enemy to cover, which is why I'm not doing like a tunnel system, because it's not necessary. And all the tunnel will do is hurt line of sight. Building walls here just hurts line of sight even more than it needs to, in my opinion, which is why I'm not bothering. And we'll work one at a time. I want to build a proof of concept of one, and then expand upon that proof of concept to the other 2, which is why it's just one at a time. This also means that we might need to continue cutting stone, because I know I'm making art with the other stone. Oh god, this rec room is disgusting. What the hell, guys? No wonder we have some mood problems. We'd let this room get super gross. It went from, like, decent to somewhat impressive just from some cleaning. Very nice. A chicken statue. Okay. Thanks, Dory. It's called Freedom 99 Fahrenheit. Or 99F. On the sculpture is a depiction of a trout wearing a top hat. What? Is it one of those, like, little talking bass things, you know? But somehow shaped like a chicken? The image somehow expresses both desolation and anguish. Okay, maybe not a cheery talking bass. Rounding out the work, the lower part of the image is dominated by 4 robbers. Alright. If you say so. Okay, the cotton. Sorry, Mr. Cotton, but I'm ruin a little bit of your farm. I'm actually going to shrink the right half of it, too. Oh, guests. No? No? Just wanderers? And I think in this case, I'm going to double up the gates and have one gate forced open as like a backup gate, and one gate we always have to open and close. Just for added security, because I know they're vulnerable points, given that we have, like, bridges for everywhere else. We really ought to double up the gates in this case. For the added security bonuses. Oh, gutworms. Ginger, Dory, Lilin, Avalka. Avalka again? Boy, you're not catching a break. You just recovered from your lung rot. Now you have gutworms? Oh, and Lilin got it. That sucks. Our doctor got it. Art patron. Oh, well, speaking of art, maybe they're here is to be a critic of our sculpture of anguish. Desolation and anguish. Can people get worms multiple times? Yes. Well, not overlapping, but you don't have a immunity to it. There's no such thing as like a gained immunity in RimWorld, where like you catch it once and never again. That was weird. I said to tend to Valka, and she just like got up and was like, "Nope, don't touch me." So, at the end of a disease, like the flu, not that anyone still has the flu, you do temporarily have an immunity until you lose that immunity and then you can catch it again, and the immunity doesn't last very long. You know, it will be a few days or whatever. So hypothetically, you could get the flu over and over and over, almost nearly back to back to back. You're selling monkeys? Okay. You're also selling, wait. No, that's what I own. When? Right. I remember getting that. Art patron. Here, you can have a nose. In fact, actually, no. You get the nose for free and get the seed for free. I still want to build up my rep with them. And dismiss. It's kind of realistic for the flu. Yeah, I mean, in real life, it depends on the flu strains. Like, I have only just recovered from flu A, influenza A, that I got 2 weeks ago. So I could still hypothetically get influenza, some other strain, like tomorrow. That would be fun. God, stop stepping on them. I'm building here. The other thing I need to do is, now that we're expanding the base, it will be part of the home zone. Ooh, more legendary dusters. I don't mind wearing the legendary dusters, or whoever's wearing it, because I'm sure they have, like, incredible protection power. Interesting, no one's actually even... Oh, no, you're wearing it. Sharp 43. That might not even be better than the bear skins. Yeah, Sharp 48. Can you stop? Oh my god, I hate when this happens. And they're like, sorry, I'm just gonna keep stepping on your construction project over and over and over, and you'll never ever get it done. Just keeps resetting their priorities. I know, there's a mod for it. I am aware. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep the outer gate forced open. But while I work on this project, I'm gonna keep both gates open. But why the outer gate open is, if you are being chased, you can close this door quickly. And then you'll be within the airlock. This one might need to be a little... So, forget the bridge. The ideal spot for a watchtower here might be more like here? Yeah. I think that's probably best, so we'll do it'll be slightly longer. And then for here, the ideal would be more like here. It's fine. I mean, the project's a little bit more expensive, but it's not a big deal. I think we are nearly done sowing the farm. That took a long time. The hay still hasn't been sown, but we'll get there. Gorehulk died on the holding platform? How? Probably electrocuted and, like, consciousness lost or something. That's unusual. Yeah, you got an electrical burn to death. That's funny. Well, good. You deserve it. Alright. Avaka, your mood has improved. Although you still have gutworms. Realistically, all with gutworms should probably be zoned to the island as well. The reason being, when you have gutworms, you do not move very fast. And are pretty vulnerable. Plus, there's the isolated case where, like, you're being chased by hostiles and then you just then choose... Because gutworms make you vomit, and when you vomit, like, you can't do anything else but vomit. So, bad time. Another thing that we could do around the walkway is build barricades. Because hypothetically, we could shoot from this position and shoot outward. It could be an archer tower. I don't think enemies are ever going to come here, though, within range. Because, like... I mean, even if it's an archer tower, this is the maximum range of a bow. So, it's not a very functional one, but, like, you know, you never know. Oh, Goldilocks. This time, I might actually hunt the Goldilocks. I haven't been hunting Goldilocks, but I might make an exception for this occurrence. So we have the granite blocks for this tower, but barely. We'll need to keep stone cutting to keep up with demand. And to that end, I might just make one more small sculpture until the current project's done, so that we don't put such a strain on our granite supply. That's a weird place for... What? Oh, yeah, technically, yeah. Okay. Let's... I'm gonna cover these again. So, what we can dig up in the quarry would be granite blocks, jade, gold, steel, silver, uranium. And I think that's it. I don't think anything else can come out of this thing. So copy, paste, actually link, paste, and there. Because we're storing some weird stuff in the quarry platforms, which doesn't make sense. Oh, and chunks, yeah. Technically, although, you know, I don't want to haul chunks to the granite quarry platform because we'll just haul it out to the chunks zone. Vita Mortis gave birth. Yeah, because I got the genders wrong, they were very, very fast at making new porcupines. So we have another one, which is fine. Raffle timer's up for that. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld: The Darkest Ages, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Dread Knights.